Hey guys, what's up? 606 Garage. Welcome to my channel. Alright, so back on the Capri today. Got the intake carburetor on. She runs good. We got all the accessories updated. AC delete. Everything looks good. Everything works good. Antifreeze is back in it now. Today's going to be a bad day. When I first bought this car, it's just on the edge of chilly. I haven't had this car maybe a month or two. Been kind of kicking around what I was going to do with it. I really couldn't get the 2-barrel lined out right, and I said, well, here we go. So we stuck the 4-barrel on it. 4-barrel intake, just a factory Ford 4-barrel intake. I think it's got 4180 single line Holley carburetor. As you can see, we've got more in store. Not right now though. As you can see in the previous videos, I have coated a set of headers. We went out sandblasted them, coated them, got them ready with that flame-proof Cerakote paint. We'll see how that works. They turned out nice. Just interested to see what they're going to do, but we're not going to put the exhaust on it right now. We're going to get us a draggy and see how much this stock exhaust slows us down. I have to put a heater core in this thing. That's the bad thing about today. Whenever I got in there, I drove down the road and I turned the heat on, the window started steaming up. I said, great. So I've got the heater core. I've laid it to see it's done run off. It's done. It didn't want to be put in. It doesn't want me to put it in. Here we go. I'm not crazy about these new aluminum $10 heater cores, which actually this is $35 from Advanced. The reason I bought this one at double the price basically is because, well, it does got a warranty on it. So, lifetime warranty. So if it goes bad, they'll replace it just one time. I'm upset about taking this dash loose. This is an original car. I know it's going to crack. The plastic in these, like 79, 82, they're horrible. It's just, you look at them, they bust. I went ahead and ordered my gauges. I ordered just a 3-gauge set, auto gauge, and a tach. I am going to mount on the dash. I know there's going to be some haters on that. I don't care. Don't care. That's where I like it. So this is my car. So since I had to put this heater core in this car, I thought I'm going to go ahead and run my gauges, my gauge wires, my choke cable, and I'm going to put my clutch pedals in it. I went ahead and ordered a clutch quadrant, clutch cable kit from LMR. Should be here today, and with the 3-pod gauge console. So I'm going to do away with the little indicator lights down there, low fuel. I mean, I know how much gas it has in it. So, and just other little things like that. But I'm going to get started on this, and I'll kind of keep you in tune along the way. It's a terrible job. And one thing I found, a steering wheel adapter for a 79 to, I guess, 82, maybe 83 Mustang. Horrible to find. Horrible to find. Where it's got the horn button on the column. And if anybody's got any ideas, I would think just a spline. I don't care if it's got a horn hookup or not. It's on the column. And I don't know if that's why they're hard to find, because I don't have to use the horn hookup. I just need something that'll bolt to this spline column. I'll do a little research on it today, but I need to get that ordered, because when I take the steering column out, I take the steering wheel off, take the steering column out, and when I get these pedals in, I'm not putting the steering wheel back on. I mean, that is ugly. That's the ugliest steering wheel I've ever seen. I don't get it. Cruise control. Gotta love it. Alright, I mean, cruise control had the ugliest steering wheels ever. Let me get started on this. I'll take you along the way. Get that all wrapped up. I'm going to order me some tires. I bought the Jegs knockoff wheels for welds. I mean, they're okay. I've got it set next to a real weld wheel. I was going to polish them up, but I actually had them for another car, and I thought, I hate to waste a an actual real weld on this car, because this car is never going to be fast. It's going to run good, but it ain't going to be fast. So, and it's going to be driven on the street. Probably be the one I drive the most, actually. Let me get to it, and I will take you with me. Let's get this party going. All right, guys, good news. That come off without incident. All right, now, other than the 3 screws on the top of that, pretty simple to get to. Couple screws there. Now I've got the screws in the back. They're along the back, I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's 4. That will come off. Then, hope and pray the heater controls come out fairly easy. Take the steering, we're going to take the gauge cluster out. Now, these gauge clusters are the most brittle gauge clusters I've ever seen. They are a nightmare. Like that 79 over there, that gauge cluster just pretty much disintegrated. Like it just crumbled. It was ridiculous. It got me terrified to mess with the 79, I'm telling you. So that's why I'm all nervous about this. But I might, it might be fine. It might be fine. You see the 6,000 RPM tach? This is a V8 cluster. When I looked at that, I was like, what in the world? But it works just fine with this V8. It works as it should. So I guess that not all V8 cars had 7,000 RPM tachs in them. But now this is the first V8, which I guess, the Fairmonts, I don't know if any of them had V8s in them. I'm not up to speed on the Fairmonts. I guess some of them might have had 2-barrel V8s. But yeah, I just always saw my screws right here, and you just watch. I'll have to do something else with them, because I guarantee you that console is going to have to come out. And, oh well, if it does, it does. All right, so it looks like I had 4 screws on the cluster, which that's about standard for a 79 to 86. We're going to see what kind of a pain this steering cable is going to be. Sorry, speedometer cable. I ain't with it today. It's 1 o'clock and you think it's 6 in the morning. Goodness sakes. All right, so I'm going to pull the pad off, pull the cluster out, take a look at it. Now, I know the top of this dash is solid, and there's no chance of getting this out. Let's see what's in here. Oh, goodness sakes. Owner's manual for the 79. That's a keeper. Definitely a keeper. Alright, so I just need to get this glove box door off. Just hope for the best, really. I might go ahead and take the air conditioner coil out of it and blank that off out there, because I know it's no good. I don't really have... I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. These 2 screws are out. I feel like it's... Oh, okay, there's another screw right there. Good times. Good times. All right, guys, let me get a little bit farther, and I will touch base with you here shortly. All right, guys, go ahead and prepare yourself. Anytime you work with an old car, things are going to happen. Now, that was already cracked. This is on its way to being cracked. But you notice the screws back there. I noticed the dash, I didn't see the screws, so they had already pulled through. I think somebody's had this apart at one time. There's the factory amp. I got to find the ground wire where it attaches and unhook it so I can unplug it. I probably will not be putting that back in. I can't tell, but the radio does work. If the radio doesn't sound good, I'll install it back. Still gotta get the steering column loose, hood release loose. I'm working on it, but let me just tell you, I went to pull this back in gear, and the cable that pulls that D10 up broke. So guys, just prepare yourself. When you're working on an old car, what really upsets me is I was going to drive this for a while with an automatic and then convert it to a 5-speed. And I just hate the thought of having to buy a shifter for an automatic that I'm about to take out. So we'll see what happens. I have another shifter. I have a later model car. I don't think it'll work. Oh wow, look at there. That crack there, I didn't even notice that. There's no way I did that because I haven't taken nothing loose yet that I'm aware of. So, but anyway, just whew, one thing after another. I'll tell you, it's just one thing after another. It's just no fun working on these old cars doing stuff like this. Motors is great, you know, new carpet, new seats, that's all great. But a heater core, zero satisfaction. Zero. All right, guys, shipment come in today. It's kind of what I was waiting on. It's come from Elmar. They're usually very good, usually very accurate. Very rarely have any broken parts. I say that, something will be wrong. But for now, I think everything is great. Okay, so it came with clips and screws. If y'all can see that. But yeah. Guess I could turn this camera around where you see it. Back again. Console plate's what I was waiting on. This is a nice piece. It's heavy, but I don't care. And my block off plate. I mean, I could have definitely waited to order this, but if I don't get my shifter fixed like I want to, this is probably definitely going to happen sooner than I anticipated on. But I do have a 5-speed waiting to go in it. Somebody tell me what that's. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. For the clutch cable. Once again, Elmar nailed it. Everything, it looks good. Everything is what I ordered. And everything looks to be really good quality. All right, got the gauge holder in, and buddy, I like it. I really do like it. And that's gonna look, when we get a 5-speed in there, that's gonna look awesome. They just don't beat that. All right, enough playing for now. I got to get back on this heater core. I'm just stalling and doing anything I can not to do it. So, time to get back busy. Just got a few more screws over here. I'm parked too close to that. I can get a couple of these screws out. All right, gonna have to get something different there. But other than that, I'll put this dash back out. I had this, I marked it where I was gonna put my tack. It's so close. I mean, it's so close. So, a couple more screws, like I said, unbolt it from the thing. Drop the steering column. We'll be rolling. We're looking good. I still don't like it though. I know I keep bouncing around. This is a firewall adjuster. Now, if anybody's ever converted an automatic to a 5-speed, especially in the later model cars, at first I was all happy. I was like, you know what? Because usually they'll run a throttle cable through the clutch cable hole. You have to relocate it. Well, the earlier models, they didn't do that. They put it through the correct hole. But that clutch cable hole, see how that's keyed? That's going to be a nightmare because that hole is too small. It's for that older clutch cable. It's got the eye on it. that doesn't use a quadrant. So I get to drill this out, but this keyway right here is just gonna make it lovely. Now I'm gonna drill this out with a big Harbor Freight special step bit. Now I've got a couple of these, and I got a few batteries charged. I'm gonna go ahead and do this and get that thing screwed in there and get my clutch cable fed through. Everything, man, it's just about a straight shot. I can see the floorboard real easy in there. I think getting our oil pressure line and our temperature line is going to be a breeze. Now I'm going to put my, and this might be a mistake, I don't know. The factory water temperature sensor's right here. I have a spot in the back. I don't know if it's a mistake putting it in the back, but that's where I'm going to put it. And I've got to unscrew the oil pressure sending unit to screw in the oil pressure line for the mechanical gauges. And I'm going to drill that out, get the cable mounted, screw it to the frame, and I will tie it up over to the side because this is an automatic car. It's just a few more steps that I won't have to do when it comes to dropping the transmission out and putting in the 5-speed. I just need to tell myself, don't touch the clutch, don't touch the clutch. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull an engine ground wire for the tach, and I'm going to pull pull the wire for the coil so it can get a tach signal. Have it in there, and when everything goes together, the last thing that I will hook up will be the tach, and then I'll pretty much be done, because if I'm hooking up the tach and the gauges, I've already got the heater core in. Now, like I said, guys, everything that I do to this car, weekend projects, shouldn't have it down no longer than a weekend. If you're not doing any kind of restoration, best friend of mine always said, follow the 6P rule. Piss poor performance is prevented by, Jesus Christ, let me redo that. Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. That's what he always says, and he is right. Now, you know, as you go along, you know, first time you do something, you're never going to nail it the first time. I've done a few of these things, done a few of these cars, and I kind of know what to expect going into it. I usually try to have everything in place. I was sweating bullets on the stuff I'd ordered Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Monday. I was sweating bullets on that, but it showed up on time. Good deal. But let me get this stuff rolling, because I want this done by the weekend. I'm also changing the battery terminals too. Battery cables, sorry. They're in rough shape. They're rougher than what I like, so gonna get back at it. All right, guys, it is, I don't even know what time it is, but this has become an awesome job. Like, I've not had this much fun, and I don't know how long. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, prepare for a whole weekend. I've got the heater box loose, but I'm still gonna have to, I guess I'm going to have to unwire some stuff and get the, I'm going to have to get the dash completely out. I might be able to take the ductwork off the dash and be able to pull it out that way, because the ductwork's taking up quite a bit of space. I might be able to get this piece out. I don't know. We'll see. We'll do what we got to do. But this has been a huge undertaking. I don't wish this upon anybody, but if so, I'm going to run you through this step by step on the things that I've done and what I didn't have to do and what I almost missed. But I'm almost there. All right, so I got my holes drilled for the temperature gauge, the choke, and I've got the oil pressure fed through there and the tach wires. Now I'd like to go ahead and put the console in, but the problem is my shifter broke. Now if you ever wonder what an automatic shifter look like, right there. This thing, when you push that over, like so, there's a cable hooked to that and it pulls this up, allows it to select. Well, that cable broke. I mean, how perfect. So I have bought picture wire and some cable crimps. I'm going to try to fix this because I do plan on putting a 5-speed disc in this car in a probably spring, first of summer, something like that. Because I mean, I ain't gonna be doing a whole lot of driving. Oh yeah, heater cores in. Ooh. So I'm gonna work on this, and if this works, just pay attention. You can do the exact same thing, but I'm gonna drill this out because I believe this is where they stamp that in there. Basically, I'll just have to stamp another one in whenever I feed the new cable in there. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, there it is. That's as far as you got to take it, but you do have to take it loose to pull it away from the wall. Whew, glad this is over. Well, I shouldn't say it's over with, but it's on a home stretch. Save your gasket, be good to it. This goes back in the firewall. Let me slide this thing back in and glue it back together. All right, guys, my whole focus on this channel is get it done in a weekend. I mean, I call it 606 Garage. I might as well just call it the weekend garage. I'm not going to try to tackle anything on this particular car that I couldn't get taken down and back up over a weekend. Now, this particular weekend, I feel like I've taken on more than what you should for a weekend. I ended up working on this car till about 10 o'clock last night. So I worked on about 12 hours yesterday. Had to make a couple trips to town. You know, the shifter broke. You know, that was an added an hour and a half, 2 hours. Was able to get that fixed. Brand new cable in it, mashed it, crimped it, hooked it all back up. It works fine. Got the gauges run through the firewall, grommets in place, choke cable through the firewall, grommet in place. Clutch cables installed, kinda. I still need to fasten it to the frame rail and tie it up somewhere because I don't have a clutch. I will be installing the clutch pedals today. Everything is loose. Basically, I just got to unbolt it from the master cylinder, pull it out, set the new one in, hook the clutch cable up to it. Then that will be done, and then everything's going to come back together. About everything's hooked up on the dash already. I mean, I just got all the heater box controls are hooked up. The heater controls are hooked up. I still have to tweak the dash to get it fitting back in exactly the way it should. Let me see. But all in all, I worked a lot of, you know, I took on more than I should have for a weekend project, which caused me to work later. Like me, I like to work from, say, 10:30 to 11 till about 4:30 or 5 p.m. per day. Now, I don't mind doing that on a Saturday or Sunday, but I knew when I got into what I got into yesterday, it's like, if I'm going to get this done on a weekend, I got to roll. So that's where I'm at. And I hope you like the tips I give you on the harness and stuff. Some people wouldn't cut one up. You know, beats the hell out of cutting the factory harness up. You know, this right here is probably a lot easier to come by than hacking your actual dash harness up. And you might have a better way of doing it. I'm not very savvy when it comes to stuff like that. But anyway, let's get back on this job. Let's get this completed today because this is a weekend job. And we're going to make sure it's a weekend job. The only thing I need to go get is some Teflon tape and some thread sealer. I prefer thread sealer over Teflon tape, especially when putting like a temperature probe inside a motor or something like that. Looks better. I hate Teflon tape. That's for plumbing. But other than that, let's get busy. Let's finish this up. And I'll walk through after I'm completed everything that I've done. And if you have any questions or any comments, leave them below. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Uh, and this car is going to come a long way. I'm going to try to do something every weekend. So far, I'm just 2 weekends into it. Several videos made, but I've just got 2 weekends into it. I do try to stay busy on the weekends, especially piddling with the car or something like that. So I figure it's best to just show you guys what I see, what I do, and maybe you find flaws in what I do, and you can improve what you're gonna do. Which that's learning too. So I mean, I watch YouTube all the time. 50 Tussin's probably one of my favorite channels. I could probably relate to that guy as much as I can anybody. Neon Mustangs is another favorite channel of mine. The guy has overwhelming knowledge of Mustang parts. Just, you know, I watch his stuff all the time. Brutal, obviously, popular, rising. You know, love the guy. He's got down-to-earth tools, down-to-earth shop. And he does a super job. Man's very talented. So those are the 3 guys. More than likely, you already follow these people if you're even seeing this channel. But those... if I'm not working on a car, I'm sitting there watching YouTube on TV, and those are the 3 guys I watch, and I'll watch it all day. So that's what I do, and I decided to, hey, why not? I fool with these cars too. I'm gonna make a channel. I hope you like it. Hey guys, so the weekend is done for me. I did not finish it. Now it's just 5 p.m. I could easily finish it, but I've had a long day. I'm tired. Seemed like everything I ran into was always some kind of a small... So I left the easy stuff that, you know, probably wouldn't take very long to finish up. I did replace the battery, positive battery cable. I do need to replace the negative battery cable. I have that. Choke cable is on. Hooked up, operational. Water temperature probe just goes in the back of the intake there. I'll get some thread sealer, screw that in, and I gotta hook up the tubing for the oil pressure gauge. Now I did fire this thing up. Tach worked fine. Everything lights up. Gauges light up. This tach lights up. Everything worked out pretty good, so I'm gonna clean it. Now there's a bunch of extra screws. Now I did replace a bunch of screws because I didn't like the way some of them fit, and it kind of threw me off because now I got a bunch of extra. I'm sitting there scratching my head. I know I've got to put a couple screws over in that corner dash over there, but other than that, every screw has went back in this thing, and then some. Like I said, the shifter was fixed. That wasn't fun. I didn't really video it, but if somebody wants to know, no problem. I do have a third pedal hanging down there now. That was not very easy either. For some reason, it didn't fit in there exactly right. And it come out of a 79 Mustang. Now, I did modify the clutch arm to accept the quadrant. And that took some doing too. I did have to cut the arm off of it and make my own and put like a bolt through it to hold the back of the quadrant. Let me see. Because originally that's on the end of the clutch thing and your cable goes right on that. I had to weld a piece on it, extend it, but it was successful because I did have this one to go by. Now, this belongs in this car. And I'm almost done piddling this for now. I'm gonna get the wheels and tires on it and get the heater core hoses on it. I would like to drive it some on and off when I get decent weather. I am gonna try to paint this front bumper. Nothing elaborate, rattle can, and I did find a color that actually kind of matched. If you look at it, it'll be close. It'll be close. So just make the front bumper look a little better. Like I said, I'm not restoring this car. I'm gonna drive it. And this has definitely been a weekend. So, but I like the way everything turned out. Gauges look great. Tach looks good. I know people don't like it on the dash. Ask me if I care. So, lights are going off. We're calling it a day. You guys have a great weekend. Luckily, this doesn't have to go anywhere. If it did, I would stay another couple hours and finish everything. But I'm not. I'm done. And this wraps up for the weekend after Thanksgiving. So we've got a lot done on this car in the past weekend and this weekend here too. So she's going to come around nicely. The exhaust will be coming before you know it. And guys, always remember, stay safe. Try to stay warm. If you live down south, I'm happy for you. Stay safe. You get hurt, you get killed. There's no more of this. So be careful. Anything's replaceable. You break something, don't get mad. You break something, don't be stupid and drive it anyway. Make sure make sure the car's in good shape before you hit the road. Be safe. Be safe. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the hobby because it's a dying. It seems to be a dying breed. I know there's plenty of people out there my age, a little bit older. I'm 41 years old. I'd say that's a majority of the people that enjoy these cars. I mean, I have friends that's younger than me that probably love these cars as much as I do. But regardless, take your time, be patient, do the job right. It's not worth getting hurt. These are quick little cars. They're not the safest car on the market. I'd say a ton of people's got killed in these little cars because they're so fast. So please be careful. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next weekend. Like and subscribe. I got more coming.